Is that the...
Hey, welcome! Street Talk and Other Stuff. Guest, be quiet. I'm talking here.
Well, I didn't know you were going to start.
Hey, welcome. It's a great day in May. Isn't the weather one? We had a great weekend. This is what we live here for, this kind of weather. But thanks for being here today. We got a good show. I have got one of the most interesting and charismatic people in my life for my guest today, and you doggone better live up to that intro. But I've got a great show. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time, but it's going to be fun. You stick around. So Street Talk and Other Stuff, we will be right back. So.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort. Totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air. Call Alpine Air.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue, family owned and operated on North Wenatchee Avenue, right next to Hooked on Toys. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue uses only fresh ingredients, handcrafted with love, including authentic Hawaiian barbecue and Japanese-style ramen noodle soups. And the bubble teas will keep you coming back for more. Enjoy the culinary tour of the Pacific Rim with Hawaiian barbecue lunches and combo plate classics, as well as ramen noodle soups. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue. Enjoy their comfort food like you're one of the family.
I moved here 6 years ago. The manager here asked me what I like to do, and I told him that I like to play games, I like to play cards. And he said, "Boy, have I got a woman for you to meet." And he introduced me to her, and we walked down the hall, and I took her hand, and we've never let go of each other.
Life is so good when you're happy, and I'm very happy at Prestige.
Okay, we are back, and I'm very happy to introduce my brother from another mother.
Moose, how are you?
This is Vince Lepre. This is my man on the street from New York City. Now, we have been friends for...
Well, we're 70 years old, so we were teenagers, so say 16.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, 54 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I'm not tired of him yet.
I'm getting a little tired of him.
But this is cool. I've been wanting to have Vince on because Vince lives in New York City. Of our group of friends...
New York City?
Yeah.
I mean, New York State's correct, but, you know, just to give the people some more accurate context. Don't worry, I'll correct you as we go along.
Oh, you're explaining that New York City is in New York State?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, see, isn't that interesting that he's helping us poor Wenatchee backwoods folks?
Yeah.
He came to town the other day and said, "Are you still playing Tarzan movies? Where are the Indians?"
Well, I hardly knew there was anything west of the Mississippi until this week. No, actually, as you know, I've been coming to Wenatchee periodically since 1973, like yourself.
Right, that's when I first moved out, and you were here for a while. So.
Right, the first couple of years, I spent a considerable amount of time here. I was here for about 6 months. Yeah. And then I went back east to go to college, and then came back in the summer of '75. Spent when you were living up on Easy Street, which we drove past yesterday. Our other dear friend, Bill Shine, took us on a little detour so we could go by that that old little house.
Did you see the new apartments there?
Well, yes, the condos, the yellow condos.
Well, I think that complex that's being built there is the biggest in this city right now.
Wow.
But it's been 30 years since you've been here before. There's been tremendous changes.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, as you know, I just got here yesterday, so I'm hoping that today we take a little tour through your city.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I want to go down and see the river. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in 1973, Wenatchee seemed like a little town.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a little town anymore.
We've grown up a little bit. Okay, so you actually, other than where you live, tell us a little bit, tell about yourself, just give us some background on
I don't find myself as interesting as you do, but thank you.
I'm enchanted. Gosh, I stand in awe of you.
So I live in Manhattan. I live with my wife and our youngest, and where should I look? There?
Because that's like I said.
Got it.
I explained all this to him.
He did, but my memory is not what it once was. So I live downtown by City Hall with my wife and our youngest child, and who's 24. And I've had a business in Manhattan for better part of the last 40 years.
And what do you do? What you do is really interesting.
My business is the restoration of historic buildings. Yeah. I'm a woodworker by trade. Mm-hmm. I have a degree in architectural conservation, so materials conservation, wood, stone, metal. But woodworking is my principal craft. Yeah. And I have a shop in Queens, in an area of Queens called Long Island City. And we're fortunate enough to work on a lot of historic properties, a lot of churches, synagogues, museums.
Yeah, I actually tell people if they spend time in Manhattan, it's very likely they have seen some of your work.
That's probably true.
The doors at St. John's Church, right? Wasn't it? Didn't you do those?
St. John's Church?
Didn't you do doors at a church?
I've done, without meaning to be funny, I've done many doors at churches. Yeah, we do a lot of work for Central Park.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So if you walk through Central Park, you see we just completed constructing several rustic structures that are accurate replicas of the original structures that were designed by Calvert Vaux in the 1860s and 70s. Well, he was Frederick Law Olmsted's partner.
Okay.
So Olmsted was the landscape architect, and Calvert Vaux was the fellow who designed the structures.
Oh.
So Central Park had, there's an area called the Ramble where you can walk through and you come upon these beautifully designed old structures that are made out of black locust, and they're hewn logs. And they're meant as resting places, as places where people can just sit and talk. And we have reconstructed a number of those in the last couple of years. A number meaning what? 5, I think.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because we had remnants of old drawings, and of course we had photographs from the 19th century and the early 20th century. So from those photographs and drawings, we were able to, I think, pretty accurately reconstruct these. Of course, they're built a little differently. The structure of them, we use modern joinery and stainless steel fasteners. But to the eye, I think they're pretty accurately reconstructed.
Yeah, well, you've been doing that, ever since you graduated from college, pretty much, right? So.
Yeah, I got a degree in historic preservation from Columbia in 1982. And I was fortunate enough, when I was doing research for my thesis, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I interviewed a fellow there, and long story short is he ended up offering me a job when I got out of grad school. So my first job out of grad school was installing the Frank Lloyd Wright room in the American wing of the Metropolitan Museum.
I remember you taking us to see that, and it was impressive. It's this room in the Metropolitan Museum of Art that was taken from a Frank Lloyd Wright house that was on
in
one of the great...
Wayzata, Minnesota.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you rebuilt it. Yeah, you just put it back together.
Yeah. It's a firm called Roche and Dinkeloo. oversaw the deconstruction of the house, and they made schematic drawings and took the building apart the interior, piece by piece, and photographed it extensively. And that material lay in the basement of the Metropolitan Museum for, I forget, actually, 10, 15 years.
Really? Okay.
And until they had a raw space available, because it's a large room.
Yeah.
And then we unpacked these big, containers with like moldings, and they were all marked in the back, and it was really fascinating. It was a big puzzle, and it took a year. I was working under the direction of a master craftsman named Ezra Mills, who taught me a tremendous amount. And I was the young foreman of the crew that was doing the work.
Okay. All right, now, other than the quality of pizza, tell us about the attraction of living in New York. I mean, because I lived in Seattle for a while, went to school in New York. It's just not my thing, but you love it, right?
Sure, yes, I do.
And in part, I mean, your wife is a New Yorker.
My wife was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, came to the United States when she was a preschooler with her family, and grew up in New York City. Her parents had a place in the West Village, back in the day, and so I met her while working there back in the late '80s, and so she's a lifelong New Yorker for all intents and purposes, and I moved there to go to grad school. And why do I like it? I give people the same answer pretty much all the time. When people say, why do you want to live there? It's noisy, it's dirty, it's crowded, Well, the answer is because every day I interact with people from all over the world. From the cab driver to the person in the deli to the guy where we take our shoes to be repaired. And I know these people. They're my neighbors. And
I mean, if you don't mind me, that's the thing I realized
please
too.
Interrupt me.
It's like a neighborhood,
Well, it is
it's kind of like I like Wenatchee because I know people, that kind of stuff, but it's pretty much the same.
I go back to the suburbs where we grew up. And you have to get in your car to go buy a quart of milk. It's like I like walking out my door and there's the.
I like getting in the car.
Well, that has its virtues. I know, but I like the feel. I like other people. I like being around. I like the familiarity. I mean, I'm sure you have the same thing. You know the people you buy your groceries from.
Oh big time. I mean, that's the main attraction for why I like living here. I like being part of the community, and I know that's pretty much similar for you as well.
It's similar, but of course it's different. People. It's a huge city, but you have to find your tribe, right? So we've lived in that neighborhood, in that apartment since '93, I think. So we are part of that community, and we've watched the changes, but there's continuity. There are people we've known for all those years. So I like the stimulation of New York City. I like the variety. It's not for everybody.
And I understand the attraction because I do like to visit, and it's like going to Seattle. I like there, but I'm always anxious
to leave.
To get back. Yeah, exactly. But one of the things that was cool, that back when I had my radio show on KPQ, a couple times I had interviews with Vince. He was my man on the street in New York City.
I remember clearly.
One of them was the time, remember when they were going to build a mosque? Because, explain where you live, by the way, as far as 9/11 is concerned.
We live about 3 blocks from the old World Trade Center towers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we're not going to go into that too much now. But remember when there was a mosque going to be built in that area?
Course. Yeah.
All the brouhaha about it.
Yeah.
On holy ground. Tell us about it.
Well, I honestly, I don't know a lot about it.
Well, I know.
I know what you know, basically, and the net result was they did not build the mosque just because there was too much pushback from people who. I mean, it was misplaced. It was, like the people who wanted to build the mosque had nothing to do with 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, they were Americans who happened to be Muslims. You know, and but they ended up selling the property, making a good buck, and building their mosque somewhere else, and I couldn't even tell you where.
And then Occupy Wall Street. I had you on. Why do I remember this stuff? He was the one who was there. You actually walked through the area.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Well, again, we live a few blocks, about 5 blocks from Zuccotti Park, and you know, I get it. You know, people are upset with the way the economy is managed, and you know, but I personally don't think that's the way to go. I think we all benefit from Wall Street, from you know, I'm a capitalist,
Yeah,
you know,
I hear you.
Unapologetically, and I think it needs reform, tweaking, like anything else in life. You know, nothing I've ever come across is perfect, and people take advantage of it.
And that's the problem. The people who take advantage of it are giving a bad reputation to the whole system. And same thing with me. I mean, capitalism allowed me to build my small business. Oh, that's another thing. Vinny calls himself a small businessman.
Yeah.
I'm a small businessman.
I'm a small business.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I know.
All right, but look, we're talking with Vince Lepre. This guy, we've been friends more than 50 years. I love him like a brother. It's true. It's just, I'm just visiting here. I'm happy to have him on. But we need to take a break. We're going to come back, talk to him a little bit more about street talk and other stuff. You stick around. We will be right back. So.
The Lake Chelan Rotary Club invites you to experience Cycle Chelan, held each year on the third Saturday in June. Pick your thrill from 3 rides: the Metric Century Challenge, Cycle Divino, or the Lake Loop. All profits from Cycle Chelan are used to support student scholarships and other charitable activities of the Lake Chelan Rotary Club. Cycle Chelan, a route for every rider. Pick your thrill today.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
For more than 60 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been making North Central Washington the most comfortable place to live, one home at a time. We're offering store-wide savings and closeouts. Save on recliners, mattresses, dining, sofa and loves, occasional tables, and bedroom groups. Some items discounted to employee pricing. There's no better time to purchase quality at a great price. Limited to stock on hand. See us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Okay, we're back. Street talking other stuff. Talking to one of my blood brothers, Vinny Lepre. He lives in New York City. Now, one thing that I miss about the East Coast is the food. Okay? I mean, pizza, bakery. I mean, we do okay out here, but it's just not the same.
You don't have the variety, you think?
We do have variety, but it's not, you can't get a hard roll, for example. Okay?
Sad.
And no offense, but the bakery delicacies, the pastries are just not the same.
Well, okay. I think, again, that speaks to the fact that there are people in big cities that come from all over the world, right? So you have a lot more influences. The opportunities to experience any kind of cuisine are numerous. You know, we're here in a smaller place. You might have 2 or 3 Thai restaurants, to pick something randomly, right?
That's about what we have.
So we have 200,
Right.
and so it's Thai food is not just Thai food. There's all different types of Thai food, right? So I think the same is for any other cuisine. You know, you want Northern Italian. You know, I love the idea. I think most people love going out to eat, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I love the idea that we can experience different cuisines anytime we want. In our neighborhood, we can go visit another neighborhood. There are whole neighborhoods that just where people have settled. They're like all through history, right? When people come from one place and settle in another, they congregate and they bring their culture, they bring their food, their music. I just went to a show and saw this Iranian performer.
Right.
She was amazing. She had a band. There were 3 guys on instruments that I wasn't that familiar with. You know, a percussion instrument that was completely new to me, a stringed instrument, and a keyboard, and they made music that was just totally new to me, and it was beautiful. It was wild, and in the audience, it was a small place. There were probably 150 people in the place, and half of them were Persians.
Really?
Oh yeah. So by halfway through the concert, like people were up and they were dancing, and you know, it was just like that kind of thing is like, oh my God, I walked out of there like, you know, uplifted. It was wonderful. So it's not just food; it's the music.
Sure.
You know, I can go to the Asia Society and see you know. Some form of Asian dance or poetry, you know, any night of the week. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that makes it interesting. And then just like anywhere else, you know, I sit home and do nothing for 2 weeks. And then I say, you know, I'm living in New York. What am I doing? So then we go out.
Well, that's when I was a cop. I used to run into kids. You know, there's nothing to do in this town. I said, look, there are kids in New York City right now saying, there's nothing to do in this town.
100%. You know, it's just human nature. You know, sometimes just forget. Like, oh yeah. You know?
I live in New York. I could be doing this. You know.
Yeah. I could be I could be walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. And going to Grimaldi's Pizzeria.
Yes, we did that. Not the last time we were there, we didn't do it, but the time before.
Well, I did it with your daughter.
You did it with my daughter and my
granddaughter.
Right,
yeah, the 3 of us walked across I love walking across the Brooklyn Bridge.
It's beautiful. It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, and just the view up and down the East River, and you can see the Manhattan skyline and the Brooklyn skyline. You know, it's just interesting, and I get that people prefer other places. Look, we have a weekend house. You know, we have a place in Massachusetts that we love to go to, and
he has been very generous in sharing with his friends. I have been there 4 times. Beautiful place.
Probably,
on Cape Cod,
Yeah, the only complaint I have is you don't come enough.
So we will see what we can do about that.
Okay. So I bring that up just to say that, you know, we enjoy getting out of the city.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky, right? We get to leave, but I like leaving and I like coming back. It's just a different experience.
Well, the last time we were there, Rosie and I came out and we went to see To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway.
Right, that was awesome.
And that was just, I mean, that was a thrill. You know, we had pastrami sandwiches at your house before we left. We crossed the street, got on the subway, rode the subway up to Broadway. I can't remember the name of the theater it was in.
I don't remember either.
But it was right next to Schubert Alley, which is a very famous part of the theater district where they have the playbills up.
Yeah.
And Sardi's, the restaurant across the street. You know, I almost said, let's go to Sardi's, but then I didn't want to be too touristy.
It's probably good. I've never been there.
Yeah, I've never been there. But then, but that's one of these things that I'm thinking about it. When next time there's a show on Broadway, I want to see, I'm going to say, Vince,
we should.
We're coming out.
We should do the total tourist thing next time you're there.
It was good.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was just in Seattle. and we went to the top of the Space Needle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a total tourist thing, but it was great.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, you did the underground tour too,
We
right?
did the underground tour.
Did you see the toilet that was invented by Thomas Crapper?
Yes, I did. In fact, the tour guide was kind of fixated on the whole.
They were the same. When we did that tour, it was the same thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah.
And so you know, being a tourist is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've traveled around the world a little bit, as you know, and you know, I like visiting the countryside, and I like being in the big cities.
Well, I know he loves. I mean, we've done a lot of outdoor stuff. He loves being in the woods. He likes having a campfire. You like doing your business in a bag and stuff.
It's not my favorite part of the experience.
But what's interesting, last time we were there, Rosie and I took off for a while to go up to Central Park.
Okay.
Because we wanted to see the Belvedere Castle, where you did some work. So I go down to the subway station, and I say to the guy, "Can I get 4 tokens, please?" He looks at me and says, "How long's it been since you've been here?" I said, "Well, it's been about 20 years. We haven't had tokens for about that long." But we had a real cool conversation. He had been out here. He had been to Portland, done some stuff. It was a neat little conversation.
Look, you know, people are friendly everywhere. You know.
Well, New York is a lot different than it was when I used to live there. It's cleaner. I felt a lot safer than matter of fact, I felt safer there than I do in Seattle. So.
I can't speak to that, but you know, look, there are bad guys everywhere, right?
Exactly.
And I don't know what the statistics are, but knock on wood, my family and I have been safe. I don't feel the least bit threatened. I ride the subways. I walk the streets. We're out at night, and you know, it's like anywhere else. You have to be careful.
There is one cultural advantage, or well, I don't know if it's cultural, maybe it's Epicurean advantage that Vinny once reminded me of. We were on a camping trip once, and one of us says, "Does anybody know how to fillet a fish?" And Vinny said, "I do." I go down the Felton Fish Market, I buy a fish, I give Frank $5, and he fillets it for me. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, of course.
Okay, well, street talking other stuff. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
No, just that we share a lot of memories, and
we do, big time.
and have had a lot of laughs.
We're going to have a lot more, too.
I hope so, buddy.
That's the thing. All right, well, hey, street talking other stuff. I'm talking to my buddy Vince Lapre. He's my man from New York City. He's here visiting us, but we're going to take a quick break, come back and say goodbye. But you stick around. We will be right back.
See you soon.
60 years ago, we opened up the first Abby's right here where I'm sitting.
All I wanted is people to show up.
We were trying to build pizza eaters is what we were trying to do, and it worked. We were very successful, and we were very happy about it.
Every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week, loaded with beef or chicken, onions, olives, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, and lettuce. It's a pizza that you won't forget. Dine in or order online for takeout or delivery right to your door.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Okay, we're back, and this is Bill. Bill is also one of the Rads, one of our buddies.
Hey, glad to be here. Great show you guys are doing today.
But hey, I want to thank Vince. Vince, love you.
I love you too.
Love you big time. Bill, love you too. Love you too. Oh, guys, I love Fest. But hey, street talking other stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable.
Get ready to go across the country meeting the future stars of the sports world. We'll begin with an elite floor leader in New York, then head west for a sharpshooting guard in Arizona. We'll also meet one of the best prospects in girls basketball and a rising football star in Texas. Plus, former Major League All-Star Vernon Wells will share some stories in our journey to greatness. That's all coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Charles Davis. The New York area is never short on basketball talent, and this year's crop is particularly impressive. We're going to begin today's show with a point guard who's making his case as the best in the 2024 class.